guys. How are you today? So we have so much to talk about. There is so much going on as 2024, we're winding down the first quarter of the year. It's been busy. I hope that it's been just as busy for you, busy in a good way. Lots of creativity, lots of productivity, lots of great opportunities to be in front of my clients in trainings and team buildings and lots, just lots. And as the theme has evolved, there's a couple things that just keep popping up with it's like kind of universal across all different types of employees, but more specifically regarding emerging leaders. So this isn't a formal, like full-on book review that I typically have done. However, I'm in the process of reading this book by, here we go, Kara Goldin. She wrote this book called Undaunted. And I was gifted this book. It's a really good read as business books go. And the nugget that she has that's like kind of, I'm starting to share more and more and more with my clients, especially those that are up and comers in their career, is oftentimes we are very ambitious. And I'm going to say we because that's how I was very ambitious in our, path, our career ladder of where we want to go. But it is very me focused. It's not very we focused. And those are my terminology, but in summarizing her. But one thing that she says really, really in a great way, specifically for her younger self, that she learned that she now applies because she is the CEO and founder of Hint, the water company, very, very successful water infused, fruit infused water. And you can read her story. But if I were to summarize one nugget that I got from the book that's so phenomenal, was one lesson that she learned very, very early in her career was all about making her supervisor look the best that she could look. And the supervisor was going through a challenging time. Kara didn't learn about, she was very private about it. And Kara didn't learn about her supervisor's challenge, grieving her former husband and that process. When she learned about it, it really changed the dynamic of how she approached being an employee. This is her very first job. How she changed her approach to being the best employee in servitude, in appreciation for making her supervisor shine and be the best that she could possibly be. And that's the advice and counsel that she gives to young leaders is when you do that, you actually start showing up as the best that you can possibly be. You shine, you rise, the cream rises, and ultimately you look like the superstar. And then you get promoted and everything else. But so many of us want to go to the promotion first without doing the work. And I say us again, because that's really how I was at the beginning of my career. It's very similar to how we approach our business relationships too. Are we cultivating and advancing those business relationships to give before we take? Are we making deposits, much like a bank? Are you putting deposits in the relationship savings accounts of the people that you ultimately want to work with before you try to do any withdrawals? And that goes across for every level of communication. And it's really making sure, are we individualizing the specific communication to the person that is on the other side of the table? It's one of those biggest challenges that we have. When we aren't connecting in the way that we want to connect, oftentimes it's because we don't see the person for who they are, how they like to be spoken to, how they like to be communicated with in written form. How do they like to learn? How do they like to be sold to? Really seeing that person changes the dynamic for the relationship. But to be able to do that, you have to know them and you have to know yourself. Those are all the things that we're going to explore coming up in my upcoming fable. It is called Winning with Whiskers, a business fable about knowing yourself and others. Stay tuned. I'm very, very close to being able to show you some of the characters and the book cover as we will be releasing the book within the next 7 or 8 weeks or so. You stay tuned. You take good care, always being mindful of the fact that business relationships make business go round. And that was a really good insight from Kara Goldin and her book, Undaunted. I'll put more information about that in the chat. What are you depositing in other people? What are you putting in their savings accounts before you ultimately try to withdraw? It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. We are relational. We are not transactional. All the stuff culminates, all the things that I've been speaking of for the past 5 years, crazy, on this blog, we are putting together to ultimately culminate and have better relationships overall. You take good care. Contact me if I can provide any information or insight or be a resource to you in any way. I will see you soon.